All right, there is our destination right there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the adventures of Daddy and Bella. We're gonna make this kind of a joint adventure today. We're gonna check out the mall itself, but that's not really the reason why we're coming here. We're gonna make that a little bit of a kind of a side trip. The real reason we're coming here is because, believe it or not, the mall on this property, they have a cemetery, which is insane. Can you imagine that? Do you know of any other malls that have a cemetery? This is the 13th biggest mall in the country, and right on the property there's a cemetery. So we're gonna go check that out before we go in the mall, and let's go see what we can find. Now, I'm not sure if they're gonna let me film inside the mall or not, but it's pretty cool, it's pretty big. They have inside this mall, of course, all the big anchor stores, you know, like Dick's Sporting Goods, JCPenney, Macy's, Lord & Taylor, all those things. Then they have a Ferris wheel, they have a carousel. They don't have like a big amusement park or a water park or anything like that. It's not like Mall of America, but they have some other cool stuff. The 4th floor is like all fun stuff. They have an ice skating rink on the 4th floor. They have a huge Dave & Buster's, a whole bunch of restaurants, and then they have this place called Five Wits, which is pretty cool. I've heard, I haven't done. It's like one of those mystery rooms. You have to try to figure out how to get out of there. It's just a whole array of awesome and fun things to do. There's a comedy club. At one point, Orange County Choppers had a spot in this mall. But we're gonna go see the cemetery first, and then while we still have a little bit of light, and then we're gonna go in the mall. I don't know if they're gonna let us take the camera in there. We're gonna certainly try, and we'll see what happens, I guess. But thanks for joining us. Let's go check out the adventure. All right, so here it is, right here. Here's the mall cemetery. Kind of crazy. You can see Target right there in the background, and right there, there's some more stores. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually filmed this about 2 weeks ago. I actually filmed this exact thing, and what happened was I had some memory card issues and lost absolutely everything. I have one of those little SD cards with the SD card adapter, and somehow I lost absolutely everything. I guess there was a little piece of plastic missing, and the guy at Apple said that could be could be my, could be the camera, even though the information looked like it was recording, it actually wasn't there. So I recorded everything and then lost it all. So we'll bring it back to you, and you guys can check it out today. All right, so we're at the Mount Moore Cemetery. This burying ground for colored people was deeded on July 7th, 1849 by James Benson and Jane Benson, his wife, to William H. Moore, Stephen Samuels, Isaac Williams, trustees. The cemetery has provided burial space for colored people, including veterans of the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I and II, and the Korean War. The grounds have been maintained since 1940. Let's go inside Mount Moore Cemetery here at the Palisades Mall. Now, last time I was here, I was checking all the gates to try to get in. And what was happening was I had come to this one gate and there was a lock on it. And look at that, surprisingly enough, this week, now there's no lock. 2 weeks ago there was. So there's a cool little monument here. The flag is at half mast. And when I had come here 2 weeks ago, there was actually some flags over here, some American flags that were absolutely tattered. And there was a rock over here that's still right here that I'm going to show you guys. Right over here on this bench, there were some tattered American flags. And this rock right here was sitting right on top of those tattered flags. Now, those are flags that were probably on some of these guys' graves that were so tattered that somebody took them off, they put them over there, and probably did not know what to do with them. So when I saw those flags sitting there, it was kind of hurt. I kind of felt bad. I felt like I had to do something. So I went ahead and I grabbed those flags that were sitting back there. I actually took them home, and a friend of mine is a Boy Scout leader, and he properly is going to have them disposed of. So I actually took those flags home. I was hoping to bring some flags back today to replace them, but unfortunately I couldn't come up with any. So I'm going to take you guys on a little quick tour before it gets too dark. Now, this mall here opened up in 1998, and what they wanted to do was, when they bought the property, they wanted to move all these graves. Can you imagine it? All these people resting in peace, they wanted to move them. And there were some people that basically came together, said, no, we're not moving those graves. We want them right there and there was a huge battle on that. The cemetery ended up staying, and that's where we are today. And this, I'm not going to try to say his name. I'm very bad with pronouncing names, but this gentleman right here was the last person to be buried here in the cemetery back in 2007, and he is one of the people responsible for saving the cemetery and for keeping it exactly where it was. So a lot of respect for that. This gentleman definitely worked very hard to have that, and this is the last person buried here at this cemetery. Now, I know you guys probably can't tell from the viewing of this video, but this is a very, very steep hill. I always thought it was interesting that people chose back in the day to bury people on a hill like this. It's so steep, it's insane, you know. It's just absolutely crazy to me. But could you imagine back in the day when these people had buried their loved ones, they would have had no idea that this monstrous mole would have been built right next to their graves. So we're gonna go head over into the mole, but I wanted to pay my respects to all the veterans that are buried here in the cemetery, here at the Palisades Mall. And if you're here at the Palisades Mall, definitely come pay your respects. It's the right thing to do. All these men that are in this cemetery, and maybe there's some women as well, I don't know, are veterans of some war. So come pay your respects if you're here at the Palisades Mall. It's right near the Dick's Sporting Goods, okay? So look at these flags over here. There's some more flags over here that are unfortunately on the ground. To me, what this says to me is basically, you notice there's no stones over here. Imagine they had expanded the mall to this area here. That basically means, I bet you there's more graves here than everybody knows about. All right, we're gonna pick these up. I think the right thing to do is, I don't know, should we take them home or to get them properly recycled? I don't know exactly where they go, or should we put them back up? The best thing to do is probably, I have no idea exactly where these go, but I'm just judging from these here.